Suppose you could develop only one skill, one that would be pivotal for your success in career and personal life. What would that skill be? As you can guess from the title of this video, I personally would definitely go for resilience. If you're new here, hi, I'm Katya. I'm a global strategist in a multinational CPG firm and an ex-management consultant. And in today's video, I want to share with you three things. First, what is resilience? Second, why is it so crucial to develop resilience for all the aspects of your life? And third, I will share the practical steps that you could take in order to become more resilient in future. And I'm not alone today. You might have noticed my dog. He is lying on the sofa. He's very tired because we had a very nice and long walk today. I'm sure you all know two types of people. First, those who remain strong even after a failure. They fail, they learn from their mistakes, they get up, they take more actions, they persist, they have the deep belief that they do have control over the situation and they can actually influence the outcome. And this does not mean that they're always happy, positive, and so on. No, it's not about that. It's just about their ability to get themselves together and keep going. Second type, those who give up after negative experience or a failure. They get stuck in a vicious circle of negativity and they see the failure as the end of the world. They become scared to try again and again, and they kind of remain stagnant. Those are dreamers, not doers, people who will be constantly stuck in the what if scenarios or if only I had a chance to do X, Y, Z. So first type of people that I described are resilient people. Second type, not so much. So, what exactly is resilience? I will quote here the Harvard Business Review definition, and I will read it because I want to highlight all the possible nuances. Those are important. Resilience is the ability to recover after setbacks, adapt well to change, and keep going in the face of challenges. And what's important to note here is that those challenges would include two types of challenges. First, chronic everyday experiences, for example, the feeling of being overwhelmed at work, or major disruptions or adversities, like the economic crash or a huge failure in the career, something very big and very serious. And this ability to bounce back from different kind of setbacks is often described as the difference between successful and unsuccessful people. And I want to deliver a very important message today. Resilience is a skill. What exactly would that mean? That would mean that some people would be naturally more resilient, as for example, some have an aptitude for communication or for analytics or other types of skills. Why? Well, tons of research has been conducted in this field, and there are multiple explanations why some people are more resilient than others. One of the possible explanations could be genetics. Some people have genes that make them more resilient than others. And second, because of the fact that resilience is a skill, we basically can develop this skill. So we can build this muscle. В поисках ракурса. No, нет. So, why everyone should work on building resilience? Again, multiple research has been conducted, and there are even some institutions that are solely dedicated to studying resilience as it is. For example, there is one in Germany, very reputable one, which is called Leibniz Institute of Resilience Research. I will not go deep into this, but I want you to remember three important messages here. First, resilient people perform better and they show higher job satisfaction and engagement. Second, resilient people are more effective leaders. Research suggests that resilience can directly impact important leadership outcomes. For example, a study of over 500 people published in Forbes found that leaders who were rated by others, managers, peers, direct reports, as more resilient were also viewed as the most effective leaders. Same research found that more resilient leaders are quick to take action and act independently. They were also more willing to take risks and make decisions quickly. And third, resilient people cope with stress better, which makes them less prone to burnout. And if you're still not convinced, there is a very good study conducted by World Economic Forum, and they issued the report which is called The Future of Jobs in 2023. Resilience there is ranked among top 3 skills for workers that are required and needed by companies, and also that will make workers more competitive and more successful. successful. I really hope that all of this was convincing enough and we can move to the 3 steps you can take to become more resilient. So the first thing that you need to think about is to fix the basics. In order to be able to do stuff that matters to you, you need to have physical and mental ability to do so. This is something that you have to think first about. This would include multiple things. So, for example, physical activity, your sports routine. Very important for the energy levels. Not that difficult to implement once you decide to include it in your schedule. For example, as I do, first when I plan a week, I will be planning the slots where I will be taking the sports classes. I do it around 4 to 5 times per week. After that, I will plan around my working time and so on. Because if I start to plan my calendar first around my work, I will end up only working with no time for myself, time for my family, fun times with friends, and so on. Then also getting enough sleep. There is a common misconception that you can be more productive by doing more things while sleeping less. This is not the case. This has been proven a lot of times. There is a very good read on that. I will link it here in the description. Basically, when you sacrifice your sleep, you become less productive. When you become less productive, you can achieve less. So sleep is something you need to fix. And then also there is nutrition. Healthy diet is important. Won't go deep into that. I'm sure there are some specific dedicated channels that will teach you how to eat healthy, but it's something that you really need to think of. Something which is very relevant for my personal experience is limiting amount of alcohol, because in France it's something very widespread. You can see a lot of French having a drink, maybe a glass of wine or two during even lunch, during working day. So this is something in the culture, and I've noticed that I'm way less productive when I drink more. Obvious, but still something to think about. Last but not least here in the basics part is taking proper rest. And by proper rest, I mean creating the time and the space for you in order to switch off your brain, switch off your work-related thoughts, and be fully concentrated on the present moment. For example, when you are walking with your dog or spending time with your family, not thinking somewhere behind about your work-related things. So step number 2 that I want to share is build your support network. We can grow our resilience through various interactions within our personal and professional networks. These interactions have the potential to modify our perceptions of work-related demands and reduce the intensity of challenges we encounter. People in our support systems can provide empathy or simply help us laugh and bolster our resilience by shifting perspective and reminding us that we are not alone in the fight. There has been multiple research again on that, and there's a very good article in Harvard Business Review emphasizing how support network helps us to be more resilient in multiple ways. And the final step, I believe the most difficult one, is to learn how to take risks and learn to fail. Coming back to the fact that resilience is a skill, we already discussed that, and skill is something that you can develop, and you can develop your skill by being exposed to some certain circumstances or situations, actions, and so on. Basically, in order to be more resistant to different challenges, setbacks, failures, disruptions, you need to learn how to do it. And learning by doing is something which is the most effective way to learn. Let's take this example. You want to become better at math. What would you basically do? You will start solving math problems. How it works at school. You take a problem, you try to solve it, you fail, you learn from your mistakes, you try again, and this is how you learn. Voila! When we are not solving some mathematical problems at school, it's not the end of the world. It's something which is very common, right? So we don't think about it as an extremely disruptive experience in our lives. Again, if we want to become better at public speaking, we would probably learn some theory in the beginning, right? We will study some articles, maybe we will even take a LinkedIn course on public speaking. We will prepare, but in the end of the day, what actually matters is when we get ourselves together and present something in front of the public and talk to the public. This is basically how I'm learning, like at this moment, how to talk on camera in English. I already had a YouTube channel in my native language in Russian, but speaking in English in front of the camera is a new skill that I need to learn, and this is how I'm learning it, by actually doing it, sitting in front of the camera and recording what I'm talking about. And then looking at this, like watching all this on repeat and identifying what went well, what could be improved, and so on and so forth. So math, communication, public speaking, I took those examples in order to illustrate how the skills are built. Logically, we can make a logical conclusion, a comparison that resilience being a skill could be built by being exposed to situations where we actually can fail and we do fail. And there is a mental shift that needs to happen before we accept the fact that failure is okay. Because once we actually fail, what happens next? Most of the times we realize that it was not the end of the world and there are other ways to get to your goals, and maybe you can try once again, you can apply a different strategy and you do it. And when you try once again, or maybe a couple of times more, eventually you either tend to succeed in what you wanted to achieve, or you change the strategy and you change your goals and you adapt. Adaptability is one of the building components of resilience, and you move forward. By the way, a recent study conducted in Singapore suggests that reflecting on past difficulties you've overcome can expand what neuroscientists refer to as the resilience zone. Remembering how you've navigated through personal and professional challenges in the past can serve as a tool to enhance your confidence in your abilities. The more you fail, the more resilient you become. The more resilient you are, the more opportunities you pursue, even though some of those opportunities have a very low chance of success. And if you don't fail and you are afraid of failure, you will go for an option which is less stretching, less ambitious, less interesting for you maybe. You will end up with something mediocre. And once you fail, this would hurt way more. I mean, we cannot never fail. Let's take an example of looking for a new job. You apply to different companies, to different vacancies. You write recruiters on LinkedIn and so on, and you get rejected. For some people, this is kind of a failure. For me, for example, it was a failure for a lot of times. But this is how this works. You cannot get your dream job offer if you haven't got a lot of rejections before. This would basically mean that you are not looking hard enough, and maybe you've not checked all the opportunities that are there in the market. So guys, thank you so much for your attention. Thank you for staying until the very end of this video. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content from me. See you in the next video.